Today for Against the Odds, Planeswalker Tribal finally returns, as we had to pioneer to play literally every Kaito in existence. Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another edition of Against the Odds. And this week, we have the long-awaited return of Planeswalker Tribal. We are heading to Pioneer to play literally every single Kaito in existence. So let's talk about our Kaito deck, what it's trying to do, jump into some games, and see if we can win with all the Kaitos. So the question for any Planeswalker Tribal deck is, what ties all the various versions of a Planeswalker together? And the good news is, the answer is pretty simple for Kaitos. Kaitos really care about two things. They care about cheap evasive creatures, and more specifically, ninja creatures. If you look at all of our Kaitos, and we have every single Kaito that exists in our deck, at least 3 copies of each of them, 4 copies of some of them, like Kaito Suzuki, if we manage to attack our opponent, we can +1 to draw a card. Kaito Cunning Infiltrator. When we deal combat damage with a creature, it gets loyalty. Kaito Bane of Nightmare wants cheap evasive creature so we can ninjutsu it into play on the cheap. Kaito Dancing Shadow. When we hit our opponent with a creature, we can bounce a creature back to our hand, activate it more than once in a turn. So that's basically the idea of the deck. Play as many ninjas as possible, play as many cheap evasive creatures as possible, and then just play Kaito into Kaito into Kaito into Kaito, and trust that the Kaitos are going to win us the game. And one of the interesting aspects of Kaito is they're super cheap. Usually Planeswalker Tribal decks tend to be these grindy late game decks where we're getting down 5, 6, 7 mana Planeswalkers. Kaito is kind of the opposite. It's one of the most aggressive Planeswalkers out there, where all of them, except for Kaito Dancing Shadow, can come into play for 3 mana, and they all add bodies to the battlefield or getting damage in one way or another. So I think this is going to be one of the more aggro Planeswalker Tribal decks that we've ever played. So what are we playing to back up our Kaitos? First off, we get a bunch of ninjas. Thousand Face Shadow, an evasive ninja. Moon Circuit Hacker, a ninja that can also draw some cards. Mockingbird, not a ninja, but we can use it to copy ninjas. We even get a ninja in the Mana Beast and Mutavault. And these give us those evasive creatures we want. And they also help power up the +1 emblem from Kaito Bane of Nightmares, which is one of the strongest abilities on our Kaitos. Just being able to get that into play and plus it 2 or 3 times, suddenly our Thousand Face Shadow, rather than a 1/1 flyer, is going to be a 3/3 or a 4/4. A Mutavault's going to be massive. So works really well with the Kaito emblem. Then we just have a couple of evasive creatures. Spyglass Siren, Brazen Borrower. In a perfect world, these would also be ninjas, but there's just not enough cheap evasive ninjas that exist in Pioneer. So these just give us more cheap evasive creatures that we can ninjutsu off of, or getting combat damage to get more loyalty on our Planeswalkers. Then we have Fatal Push Thoughtseize, a little bit of interaction. Mana Beast, we talked about the Mutavaults, otherwise pretty typical stuff for Pioneer. A bunch of dual lands, a channel land, some basic lands. In the sideboard, we get a bunch more removal options. Extinction Event as a sweeper, some counters to protect our Kaitos, the last Thoughtseize, and unlicensors to deal with graveyard decks. And that is Kaito Tribal for Pioneer. That's our Against the Odds deck for this week. So let's jump into some games and see just how many Kaitos we can get on the battlefield, and if playing every Kaito can actually win some games. So thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll be back in a bit for the wrap up. Need some magic cards? Well, you can snag them from our sponsor, Card Kingdom, over at cardkingdom.com/mtggoldfish. Want to help out the channel? Well, you can snag these super sweet new dice, playmats, tokens, and more over at mtggoldfishmerch.com. It is Kaito time, and this hand looks pretty good. Only 1 Kaito, but we have a bunch of 1-drops. We got a ninja to go with our Kaitos, so reasonable enough. Let's see what our Rakdos. All right, Rakdos is good. Well, in that case, let's just start on a Spyglass Siren. Pretty good with our loots. Like, loots really just want a bunch of evasive creatures. Blood Tithe Harvester, specifically ninjas, but there's only so many ninjas that exist in Pioneer. So we have the ninjas that we can play that are cheap and evasive, and then we got to fill in with dorks. Well, let's do a little ninjutsuing. Draw a card, pick up the Spyglass Siren, hit you with the Moon Circuit Hacker. Ooh, Thoughtseize. Yeah, let's just go blue and replay the Siren. Next turn we might be able to Thoughtseize, perhaps. Opponent 3. Opponent Unstoppable Slasher. All right, that is annoying. We could Mockingbird the Slasher to block. We can also just like Thoughtseize to make sure they don't have Bloodletter, and then I guess play another 1-drop. And then next turn we can start using the Kaitos to make the Slasher not be able to attack. Yeah, let's go Thoughtseize. Harvester and Archfiend to the Dross. Well, we're going to take the Archfiend to the Dross because that's really big. And then Spyglass Siren. I guess we might be able to crack a map on the hacker, and then maybe we can trade. Well, all right, it's land anyway. Well, pass the turn. I guess, yeah, let's just pass. We definitely are going to block the Slasher. We don't want to get hit for half our life total here. We can double block and kill it. We can also just chump and kill the Blood Tithe. So we're going to play another Blood Tithe. They also have the Mutavault, which is very good against Planeswalkers. Yeah, let's do it like that. So I think we kill Blood Tithe. Chump the Slasher. Ugh, another Archfiend to the Dross. Okay. Ooh, that is kind of an issue. This is becoming a problem. Well, let's copy the Archfiend. Mockingbird's so good. Having a way to copy like an Archfiend of the Dross is actually ridiculously huge for our deck. We don't have that much remove, especially main deck, since we have a bunch of fatal pushes. Not super easy to remove. Well, block and block. See if we can get rid of the Archfiend. Soak up the Unstoppable Slasher attack. Well, can Kaito save us? How good is Kaito? Unfortunately, we have two of the same Kaito in hand, and it's not even the best Kaito, although it might be the best Kaito at stopping us from getting attacked by Slasher, honestly. All right, there's the Blood Tithe Harvester. Sure. And, more lands. Oh, yeah, this is where Kaitos are at their worst. Like, Kaito really wants to be kind of a tempo deck and get out on the front foot. This is where Kaito looks really bad, because Kaito's a pretty aggro planeswalker. When we got to play on the back foot against this big board, like, we can stop the Slasher, but then our opponent just murders the Kaito, so we kind of paid 4 mana to, I don't even know, fog a single attack. I guess maybe a Chump Blocker's better here, although the problem is our opponent can sack the Blood Tithe Harvester to get in with the Slasher. Well, all right. That Kaito can tap down the Slasher for a couple turns. The real problem here is the Mutavault. Like, if we could get rid of this Mutavault, or not die to the Mutavault. All right, opponent. Blood Tithe Harvester. Gonna kill our drone. So we do gain a couple life. But now we lose half of it, and also our Kaito, presumably, to this Mutavault. All right, Kaito and half our life total down. Slasher's so brutal. Down to 5. Sure. Thoughtseize to take our Kaito. And, oh, this feels so bad. We don't even have the ability to chump block with the Mutavault. We could ninjutsu off of it, but I don't think that really gains us anything. We might just be dead here, honestly. So when you play the Kaito, yeah, we're gonna, yeah, this is bad. Play the Kaito, so we can -2 to stun the Slasher, which I guess is what we just have to do. The problem is then they just kill the Kaito with the Mutavault. Let's crack this map, see what we got on top. We need some action. Oh, Watery Grave. All right. Well, okay. Stun you. And play the land. Pass the turn. Opponent. Oh, double. Yeah, we can't beat 2 Mutavaults. Oh, wait. This isn't even Oh, Unholy Annex. Well, wait, that's also... Oh, and the Mutavault triggers it? Yeah, that's pretty brutal. That is super. So they kill the Kaito. Yeah. The Mutavaults are an issue. We have, into Thoughtseize is our draw. The Mutavaults are definitely a problem. We got removal, but Mutavault, pretty good at dodging. All right, Rakdos Demons, one of the best decks in the format. What can we bring in to let Kaitos beat them? Probably a little bit more removal, especially removal that can kill big demons, which Fatal Push, if we can trigger Revolt, which we can occasionally, we can kill it, but not often enough. So I think we go down some weak removal, go up some unconditional removal, do some trim, run it like that. All right, on to game number 2. Well, that game, we played a couple Kaitos, but we got off on such a back foot. We could not stick any of them for more. This is much better. This is much better. So 1-drop, Ninjutsu Kaito, 4-drop Kaito, and we have a removal spell that can get rid of a Unstoppable Slasher forever. Well, let's play Pathway. I'm blue. And get down the Spyglass Siren. All right, opponent. No Thoughtseize, please. All right, what do they take, though? Oh, they take, all right, Ninjutsu Kaito, probably best Kaito. The nice thing about Kaitos is they all are decent. Probably the 4-mana one is the least decent, and even that one's still fine. I wish it made ninjas instead of drones. It's kind of awkward. It's kind of awkward, just the creature types it makes. Well, opponent just land and pass. We draw more removal. Opponent, down to 16. Get down the Mutavault, go. Well, now we're kind of hoping they play a slasher. Unholy Annex is probably the worst. If they play Unholy Annex, we do not have, wow, another tap land. Well, this is going much better. Opponent's off to a much slower start. We're not off to, like, an insane start or anything, but at least we're not getting slashed already. Well, get in with the Siren. Takes the beats. No fear of the ninjutsu. Let's just play the tap land and pass. We could play the Kaito. I would rather, little Graveyard Trespasser. I'd rather kill something this turn. The other thing we're gonna have to deal with, yeah, we're gonna get rid of the Graveyard Trespasser, is they have another creature land, this Hive of the Eye Tyrant, which we can't target with the Kaito to make it not be able to attack because it's not a creature. Gonna need a Kaito. Well, threat 1 dealt with, painfully, because we had to discard because ward, but ooh, Fatal Push is huge. Okay, that is a really good draw. Now we can Kaito. Our opponent presumably is going to try to fire up that Hive of the Eye Tyrant to kill it, and then we can just Fatal Push it, and that's what we want. Draw a card. All right, Brazen Borrower, fine. I mean, we'd like more Kaitos, but Brazen Borrower's one of our only ways to get rid of Unholy Annex. Opponent's going to Fatal Push the Siren. Come on, Hive of the Eye Tyrant. You know you want, opponent. You know you want. All right. Got him! Oh, that Fatal Push was a very good draw. Opponent fires it up, goes to kill the Kaito. Bad news, friend. Fatal Push. Dead, dead, dead. Kaito lives. And, ooh. Well, let's draw a card. We would really like more Kaitos. I mean, I guess we're firing up Mutavault. I don't know if we want to bounce it back to our hand, though, to get another activation. That seems... Do we? Is it worth it? So we could ninjutsu Thousand Face Shadow, but we really want another attacking creature. Yeah, let's just get in. Let's not bounce our Mutavault. Let's pass the turn. We leave up the Brazen Borrower to bounce something. All right, opponent's going to duress our go for the throw. Well, at least we still have the Brazen Borrower. One of the upsides of adventures. Do not get duressed. Not a non-creature in hand. Could still use more Aww. All right. Well, we have a deck full of Kaitos. Our odds of drawing more Kaitos is pretty high. 25% of our deck or something. Thoughtseize. Well, I mean, Thoughtseize is fine. Make sure there's not a removal spell for our Mutavaults. Oh, maybe there's a handful of removal spells for our Mutavault. If there was one Fatal Push, I think we take it and go beatdowns. But since there's 2 Fatal Pushes, we still can't fire up the Mutavaults, really. So I guess we just take Archfiend because we don't have a hard removal spell for it, and then we're just gonna have to slog through these Fatal Pushes. All right, Fable the Mirror Breaker is not a bad draw. You know what's really good at slogging through Fatal Pushes? Kaitos. If we can draw some Kaitos. Cannot Fatal Push Kaito. I think bounce the token. I think we bounce the token, and then we probably flash in the Brazen Borrower, and I assume they are going to Fatal Push it. Brazen Borrower is actually kind of hilarious with this deck, because you can keep ninjutsuing it back to your hand. Well, get rid of the Dork. Opponent kills the Brazen Borrower. Or they kill their Dork to get rid of the Brazen Borrower. Kind of works out the same. Well, fire up the Mutavault. This does let us chip in for 4. I mean, our opponent's down to 6. We might be able to just grind him out. We even get to do a little moon circuit hacking here. Kind of free since we're going to miss our land drop anyway. Hit you down to 6. Draw a card. Yes, please. Well, there's a Kaito. Can't play it this turn. Do we just run out Thousand Face Shadow? Yeah, I think we do. This doesn't necessarily give us lethal, because I can kill one of our 2-power creatures, but we're close. Another Fable the Mirror Breaker. Gonna make a Goblin. I mean, at least we found a Kaito. And Fatal Push on the flyer. Thoughtseize. Not the best time for that. Well, let's fire up a Mutavault. I think only 1, because we want to play the Kaito. Yeah, let's get in with Hacker Mutavault, see if our opponent blocks. We could fire up the other Mutavault to make them block, but I think getting down Kaito to draw cards is more important here. We could also make an unblockable Ninja. Our opponent is out of cards, so we know they don't have removal. We're actually, we are close. We are close to closing out this game. Opponent thinking about the blocks. Kaito finally coming. Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't drawn more Kaitos. This has been an oddly Kaito-like draw, considering we have, what, 13 Kaitos in our deck? All right, opponent blocks 1, drops to 4. Well, we will get down the Kaito, and I think we just draw here. We're still, if the Ninja was going to be lethal, we'd make the Ninja, but we're still, like, especially when I'm getting a blocker here, we're still a little short on damage to win the game. And Blood Tithe Harvester, sure. And, well, let's see what we can find. So the problem we're gonna have now is Blood Tithe Harvester with Fable's very good. We need to force our opponent to block here, even if it means losing both Mutavaults, it's worth it. Because once they start copying this Blood Tithe Harvester, life becomes very bad. So we need our opponent to block with at least something. So they're getting another Fable next turn. So if they keep the Fable, they can try to do the little like Fable combo. Although they only have 4 mana, so they can't actually just kill us within 1 turn. Nice that we're at 18. Not really opponent. All right, blocks with the Blood Tithe Harvester. Sure. I guess that makes sense. So we're going to try to keep the double Fable shenanigans. Well, hit you down to 2, and we're just going to draw a card. It is not a good card. Play the Swamp. Yeah, play the Thousand Face Shadow. Drawing there might have been incorrect. It might have been better to go Ninja plus Thousand Face and have 2 evasive 1/1s. Which would mean if our opponent doesn't find removal, we'd be able to win this turn. But their deck has a lot of removal. Plus they have the blood for a redraw if they need it. Well, Oh, that's lethal, right? That should be lethal. All right, get him with a Thousand Face Shadow. Ninjutsu Kaito. There's a Kaito for that. There's a Kaito for that. About it. No. Really? Oh, well, okay. Well, I'm glad we didn't go on the ninja plan because they drew the removal spell anyway. Well, I mean, I guess we got a full price the Kaito. Oh, I thought we had the Kaito in. Actually, do we? Let's draw first. Another Thousand Face Shadow. Play the Kaito. And emblem the Kaito. So this is going to make our Thousand Face Shadow lethal. It also makes our Mutavault a 3/3, so we can block a Fable if we need to. So now our opponent has to draw another removal spell. Maybe 2. I think we might finally have gotten their opponent. Going to copy their Fables a couple times. Certainly. All right, 2 Kaitos. That's pretty good. 2 is pretty good. The ultimate goal is to get all 4 Kaitos on the battlefield at once. I don't know how realistic that is. We'll see. But that would be the dream, to have every Kaito in Magic on the battlefield together. An opponent, okay, does not have the removal spell, scoops it up, and that went much better. So far, the deck's been kind of sweet. Kaito's actually a pretty powerful Planeswalker if you build around it. Well, I mean, Thoughtseize, Thousand Face Shadow, 2 Kaitos. Seems like the dream draw. Ooh, opponent starts on a tap land, that's nice. Well, I think we Thoughtseize first. Wow, 3 different Kaitos. Opponent, Graveyard Trespasser, Fable, double Archfiend. Well, we're gonna take the Fable. Our opponent only has enough lands. They don't have enough lands to cast the Archfiend. Maybe they won't draw land number 4 for a minute. Opponent, tap land. Ooh, wow, that is every Kaito. How many of them can we get on the battlefield without them dying? But that is literally every single Kaito in Magic in the same hand. Opponent, Graveyard Trespasser. Kind of annoying. Well, play the land. Let's get in with a Thousand Face Shadow. Do we ninjutsu? I think we gotta play Phase Out Kaito here. Or else the Graveyard Trespasser just kills it. Yeah, let's make a ninja. So it's gonna help make sure we are guaranteed to have something to ninjutsu off of next turn if we need to. Well, there's Archfiend to the draws. That is problematic. Oh no, are we gonna lose? Is Archfiend to the draws better than Kaito? It shouldn't be that way. Opponent gets in with the Graveyard Trespasser. Gonna eat their Fable the Mirror Breaker for some reason. Hits us down to 15. Mockingbird's good. We don't have enough mana to copy the Archfiend though. Let's go to combat, get him with the ninja. Let's ninjutsu the Kaito. This can tap down the Archfiend to the draws at least. Hit you down to 16. Now we get to draw with the Kaito. Land, please. Okay, land is huge. That is big. That lets us get down another 1-drop. So let's tap down the Archfiend to the draws. Hilariously, so we have a Kaito that can tap something now with 2 stun counters, and then 4-mana Kaito makes something not attack or block for a turn. It seems somewhat possible that we can just Kaito down a Archfiend to the draws long enough that our opponent dies to it, which would actually be hilarious. Gonna be a little harder with our opponent having 2 Archfiend to the draws. We need some removal, and we need it quick. With 2 Archfiend to the draws, chumping is not very good. Like, we can chump, but we end up losing 4 life, which is so much. But we need our Kaito for now, so yeah, it hurts, but block your Graveyard Trespasser. Archfiend down to, oh god, Extinction Event. Okay, that is a really good draw. So with 2 Archfiends, I don't think the plan of just tapping down the Archfiend is realistic. With 1 Archfiend, it would be. We can Extinction Event on 4, but we do lose Kaito, Creature Kaito. I guess we can Emblem it and then Wrath. We could tap down the Graveyard Trespasser and discard. Is that worth? Yeah, let's just Emblem it up, pump the ninjas when we eventually get some. Yeah, and then I guess we just Extinction Event on evens, and then trust that we can beat a Graveyard Trespasser maybe with our Kaidos. All right, well, opponent down to just a Kaido, or down to just a Graveyard Trespasser. We're down to just a Kaido. Yeah, let's loot. Well, get rid of a 4-mana Kaito. And yeah, we're going to see on defense. We kind of want to keep this Kaito alive if we can. Gets in a Kaito. That 1 Extinction Event came in clutch. I think we would have definitely lost to the Archfiends if we didn't draw that Extinction Event. Found a Blood Tithe Havista. Now we need to get some ninjas down. We got the emblem. Opponent gonna crack the blood. I mean, opponent's only got 2 cards. Opponent, untap land, and Unholy Annex is a good one. Down to 13. This game might be close. Well, let's make a ninja. It's a 2/2 thanks to the emblem. Cunning Infiltrator. Foundations Kaido. Make a ninja. And then Mockingbird. Copy a ninja. Mockingbird's in the deck because it is a ninja a decent percentage of the time. And yeah, I guess we crack our map. All right, Mutavault, also technically a ninja. Yeah, the emblem is really huge. Ninjas are very small. Even just a single, like, obviously if we pop off and get like 3 or 4 emblems, which I think can happen with this deck, that's insane. But even just a single emblem, like now our random dorky ninjas are actually stopping this Graveyard Trespasser pretty easily. And we still got the Kaidos, right? So this is going to keep happening. Opponent gets in with both. Well, I mean, we're going to try to kill some stuff here. 2/2, block, actually, wait, we did that backwards. You block there. You block there. There we go. Kill both of those. Keep the Mockingbird Ninja. 6/6 time. All right. Well, there's a big demon. Opponent drains us down to 7. So this ninja is not unblockable. But Kaito, all right. So Kaito can make it unblockable. So let's take up Kaito. Ooh, Disdainful Stroke. Oh, this is tough. Mutavault's so good. Let's get rid of the Disdainful Stroke, I guess. Feels awkward, but... Get in. Get it. Counter. Draw with Kaito. Okay. Dancing Shadow. Make it so the demon can't attack or block next turn. Mutavault. And then, yeah, I mean, Mockingbird the demon. Mockingbird's so insane. 1 mana 6/6 flyer. We will take it. The question is, do we get burnt out? So our opponent has the Hive of the Eye Tyrant. They also have the Unholy Annex with a demon. Ah, boy, this game is so close. About it. Hive of the Eye Tyrant. Are we going Kaito? Are we going face? Reading Kaitos. They should probably just try to win. Like, there's so many Kaitos on the battlefield. Yeah, opponent determines the same thing. There's too many Kaitos, so I think you just try to hit us and make us die in 2 turns. I mean, we drop to 4. Well, we're gonna need these Kaitos to do some work. These Kaitos need to find us an answer to the Unholy Annex. Opponent draws, drains, goes back up to 15. Make it so the 6/6 can't attack or block. We also have to deal with the Hive of the Eye Tyrant. Oh, we're gonna have to run good with our Kaito draws. Hit ya for 9. Opponent drops to 6. And now we get some Kaito value, get some counters. Well, these draws are basically the game. Pick up the Mockingbird. Reactivate, draw a card. Kaito, well, draw a card. That does not save us so far. Brazen Borrower, ooh. Brazen Borrower might save us. Wow, this is going to be very risky. Take up the Kaito. Okay. Wow. That is removal that can hit the Eye of the Eye Tyrant. Are we going to steal this? It might be possible. So, if our opponent fires up the Hive of the Eye Tyrant, we can kill it. And then what we need to do is, on our opponent's second main phase, we can't go to the end step and bounce Unholy Annex or we die. On our opponent's second main phase, we need to bounce the demon. And we need to hope they don't have another demon. If our opponent has a second demon they can play, then we're going to die to Unholy Annex. If they don't, then I think we somehow steal this with triple Kaito. Opponent gets in with the Eye of the Eye Tyrant. Well, yes, we will anoint you with some affliction out of here. Not dead yet. And opponent, no demons, no demons. Yeah, all right, well, here we go. Brazen Borrower, bounce the 6/6. Kaito's for the win. Wow, okay, no demon, no demon. No demon, wow. Now we can flash in the Brazen Borrower. Opponent draws a card, but they lose the life down to 4. And now between the demon, the Mutavault, the Brazen Borrower, and a pile of Kaitos, I think we have lethal. Yeah, I mean, draw with Kaito, and opponent scoops it up. It is Kaito Tribal time in Pioneer. We're playing literally every Kaito in existence, and we're trying to get every single one on the battlefield at the same time. So far, our record is 3. I think we've had 3 Kaitos, but there's 4 in Magic, so we have not quite achieved our goal yet. See what our opponent's up to. Ooh, Or's up, eh? Huh. This hand is very bad now. It was already very land heavy. We were hoping that Spyglass into quick ninjutsu Kaito was going to save us with the surveilling and drawing, but now we just have a lot of lands. Opponent, FOMO. I'm going to do a little rummaging. Oh, is this a... All right, Parhelion in the graveyard. Well, we got our Kaito again. That's something. So our opponent is a Greasefang deck. The problem is if they just have... No, keep Brazen Borrower. That is temporary interaction. If they just have Greasefang, this is a very fast game. Opponent land. Cool. All right, no Greasefang yet. No Greasefang yet. Down to 18. We draw the Brazen Borrower. Sadly, I don't know if we can even put Kaito into play. Do we just have to sit on this Brazen Borrower, I think? They didn't have it last turn. It would be greedy. Yeah, we're gonna play it safe. Hit you down to 14. Technically, we're winning the race at the moment. Blood Tithe Harvest. All right, now we're no longer winning the race. 2 more turns until we can Kaito and leave up Brazen Borrower. Opponent passes. Yeah, we're gonna play it safe. We're gonna play. I'm so scared of dying to this Parhelion off of Greasefang. Get down the 1000 Face Shadow. Next turn we can definitely Kaito, right? We can Kaito and still leave up the Brazen Borrower. I mean, we're still kind of winning the race. Opponent's at 12, we're at 16. The nice thing about Brazen Borrower is it can bounce. Ooh, that's pretty brutal. It can bounce the Parhelion. Well, now we do not have the luxury to play around anything. Now we gotta go because this Parhelion's gonna wreck us. Opponent. Yup. We find a Moon Circuit Hacker. And yeah, I mean, I think it's Kaito time. Kaito 1. Pick up the 1000 Face Shadow. Found it. Down to 9. Surveil draw? I guess we surveil draw to try to find remove. Ooh, 2 more lands. All right, bottom. Or graveyard. Removals? Okay, it's a Kaito. I mean, okay. Another Kaito's fine-ish. Oh, right. Yeah, well, I think we gotta bounce. Gotta bounce this guy, Sovereign. Hopefully they don't have a land and they can't replay it this turn. Opponent takes a Kaito, gets in at our Kaito. Well, at least we didn't die to a Greasefang. That's a small victory. Fable the Mirror Breaker. I don't know if we can get in these last 7 points of damage though. We're kind of far behind on board. Is there a world where we steal this? So play the land. Opponent's at 7, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, we need 2 turns. We can flash in the Brazen Borrower. We can kill something. We still gotta hope they don't hit Greasefang. If they hit Greasefang, oh, all right. Well, yeah. I mean, that is the upside of having an I win button in your deck, right? Opponent finds a Greasefang, Parhelion in the graveyard. We had to spend our Brazen. I think we did have to spend the Brazen Borrower, but good news is we get unlicensers for days. 3 unlicensers, and I guess we can customize our removal a bit. Bring in stuff. So the problem with Fatal Push is we gotta have Revolt to kill Greasefang, and we don't always have Revolt, especially at instant speed, because we can do it with map tokens, but we can't crack maps at instant speed. So I feel like removal that can always kill Greasefang is gonna be more important than removal that can't always kill Greasefang, and try it like that. All right, on to game number 2 against Mardu Greasefang. Kaito. We have, actually best Kaito. This hand's fine. Still don't have any removal, but we can get a fast Kaito down. Spyglass Siren. Yeah. About it. Leads on a Blackleaf Glyphs. You know what a good draw here is? That would be Unlicensed Durst. We're going to play that real quick before our opponent can Thaw Seize it. And that means our opponent's going to have to play fairly, which is kind of a huge deal. Not having to worry about randomly dying to a Parhelion is kind of huge. Well, we're gonna start pressuring now. Don't kill it. Spyglass Siren, pay no mind. It's just a 1/1. Haha. Just kidding. It is now a Kaito Bane of Nightmares. Smash you for 3. Well, there's Kaito number 1. Let's see if we can surveil into Kaito number 2. Do we want either of these? We don't want the land. I guess we can keep the Moon Circuit Hacker. Pass the turn. Yeah, this Graveyard Hate's gonna make our life way better. I think if our opponent's trying to beat us down with like Thomos and oh, come on, stop killing our Kaitos. Surprised there's so many bitter triumphs. People in Pioneer are prepared for Planeswalkers, apparently. They're teched out for Kaito Tribal. They knew it was coming. Well, there's a Kaito. I mean, I guess we play it. Kaito number 2. Sadly, the first one's dead. I guess we just drone? Actually, do we draw? Yeah, let's just draw. Drawing's fine. All right, Fatal Push is reasonable. I imagine eventually our opponent's going to play a threat. All right, well, Fatal Push, less reasonable. being duressed. Sure. And there's a Blood Tithe Harvester. Yup. That's not a huge deal, though. Opponent, Mutavault, that's actually a good one. Well, let's exile some cards from the graveyard. More important, like, so against the Greasefang deck, I think just exiling every turn you might as well, because what else are we doing with our lives? Not as important, though, as against, like, Is It Phoenix, where keeping the cards out of the graveyard for Treasure Cruise, very important. How about a Spyglass Iron opponent? And I guess we make a drone now to defend our Kaitos, and then a Kaito Foundations, Cunning Infiltrator, and make a Ninja. I actually think Foundations Kaito is a lot better than people realize. Like, -2 to make the token seems bad, but the fact that you get loyalty every time you hit your opponent with a creature makes it way better, where you can actually kind of do that every turn once you start snowballing. Opponent, Mutavault number 2, and Sky Sovereign. Boo! Alright, well, I imagine a Kaito's about to get sniped. This deck has a oddly high amount of Planeswalker removal. We saw the Bitter Triumph because I want to discard stuff. Sky Sovereign can snipe Planeswalkers. Our opponent's prepared for the Kaito meta. We still have Dancing Shadow, though, for now. So we can ninjutsu this, the Spyglass Siren. Draw a card. We also might want to double activate the Kaito. So Moon Circuit Hacker comes in off the Spyglass Siren. We'll let the drone trade. Is it worth bouncing? Yeah, I think we will. Pick up the Moon Circuit Hacker, draw with the Moon Circuit Hacker. So now we can double activate Kaito, who Thoughtseize is good. And opponent scoops it up, and that was a pretty good performance. Like, the Kaito deck, it's so funny. Most Planeswalker decks are late game decks, right? Like, most of them are late game decks where you're trying to set up for winning super late because you have this overwhelming value engine of Planeswalkers. Kaito's kind of the opposite of that. Kaito's like an aggro Planeswalker deck where we're at our best trying to win like a tempo deck relatively quickly, forcing through damage with our Kaitos rather than playing for the late game. I mean, this is excellent because we have Unlicensors. Don't Thoughtseize us. Well, all right, a little less excellent, but our opponent did some serious mulliganing to find an answer to what? They took the Kaito? Okay. I am literally shocked. I am very surprised by that. I mean, is Unlicensors like the best card in the format against our opponent's deck? I am very surprised. Maybe this means they just have an answer to it and they don't care because they're just going to blow it up. But I mean, we got to run it out, right? Like, if you're going to let us keep the Unlicensors, we are happy to play it and exile your graveyard every turn. About it. Passing, well, exile the Thoughtseize. Well, that's a Kaito. It's really nice having the Unlicensors out because in game 1, we were just so afraid to tap out because we just died anytime to Greasefang. Having the Hearse out, though, makes it a lot easier to tap out for Kaitos and still not worry about dying. Opponent's going to Fatal Push the token, which really doesn't matter. Towards the Tower of Kaito, that actually matters more. But still, that Kaito was a 2-for-1, right? Opponent going to Thoughtseize us. That was a 2-for-1. Opponent had to spend 2 cards on the mulligan to deal with one of our cards, so I guess that's still kind of a win for Kaitos. Well, keep on exiling. We currently have 0 threats. I mean, I guess we have a Mutavault, but Thankfully, we have a lot of removal, so we're not close to winning, but we're also not close to dying. Opponent, Blood Tithe, Harvester. And snipe it. And do a little exiling. We really just need Kaitos. That's all. We would draw a Kaito every turn for the rest of the game, and we'd be happy. Go Ninja Land, I guess. Fire up the Mutavault. Hit you for... Actually, you know what? Our opponent's got nothing. There's no way with an empty graveyard and empty hand they can do anything next turn. So I think we actually just crew up this Unlicensed Hearse and get him for 7. I think we're in close out the game mode. Smash ya. Actually, you know what? We're going to play a doubly save. We're going to lead back. We shouldn't have spent mana on it, but we're going to lead back to Mutavault just to make 1,000,000% sure there's not some weird, like, self-mill that hits Grease Fang to get back. Like, maybe there's some weird Rakdos. What? All right, well, there was no weird thing. In the end, Kaitos overcoming Grease Fang. How many Kaitos can we get on the battlefield this match? See what we're up against. Chow 101. I'd take that class. Well, Thoughtseize Kaito. Yeah, sure, we'll keep this. Wouldn't mind a evasive 1-drop or something to ninjutsu this Kaito, but about it. What are we doing? Ooh. Is it, eh? So, well, okay, that's an evasive 1-drop, although I think we just start with Thoughtseize. We can ninjutsu this turn anyway, so let's Thoughtseize, see what our opponent's got going on over there. Picklock, Prankster, and Consider. Well, we will take the Prankster. So opponent appears to be Is It Phoenix, which I believe is the #1 deck in Pioneer at the moment, which I guess is not a surprise. People kind of assume that would happen, but it hasn't been dominant. Like, it's like 14% of the meta. Prof's eidetic memory, sure. Well, Thoughtseize again. Part 2. Well, we'll take the Treasure Cruise. If our opponent's gonna try hardcasting a Arclight, we can deal with that. Let's just play the mock, bird, opponent. Island. Well, you know what time it is? I think it's Kaito time. Kaito, Bane of Nightmares, Ninjutsu it, hit ya. Down to 17. We have a Mutavault. We have a 1,000 Face Shadow. Yeah, let's just Emblem. Emblem 1. Start going the ninjas. Opponent. Arclight Phoenix. Yeah. Hits Kaito. Well, let's Emblem. And play the land. And fire up the Mutavault. Double Emblem's kind of wild. Mutavault being a 4/4 is kind of absurd. We're hitting our opponent for 9 here. Ooh, this is actually super cute. We can Mockingbird the Mutavault and get a... Oh, that's so good. Well, let's play the Spyglass Iron first. Oh, yeah, we could just play another Spyglass Iron. Let's do that. Let's just do it this way. We do want to make sure we can block. We want to keep the Kaito alive. If we make a copy... Wow, opponent skips it up. If we copy the Mutavault, we only have 1 blocker, so 1 removal spell gets us. Well, that went pretty well. That's one of the problems with trying to get all 4 Kaitos on the battlefield is some of the Kaitos snowball so hard that we just win with like 1 Kaito and a Mutavault. Like, that is the power of Kaito Bane of Nightmares. Well, we're going to bring in the Graveyard Ape. Do, I guess, just a smidge of trimming to find room for it. And, yeah, maybe we keep the Fatal Pushes because they are going to have, like, some cheap creatures. Yeah, let's try it like that. On to game number 2 against the best deck in Pioneer, most played deck in Pioneer anyway. Is It Phoenix? Lovely. Wonderful, spectacular, even. I mean, we got the Unlicensers, which is the most important thing. Well, all right. Spyglass Iron, sure. Get a little map token and pass the turn. They could have Spell Pierce, although, I don't know. They only saw a single Kaito. They might not know that we're a straight-up Kaito deck with 1,000,000 Planeswalkers, so maybe they don't bring it in. All right, opponent's gonna torch the tower. Well, now they know that Ninjutsu Kaito's a thing. Getting rid of the flyer makes sense. Well, I mean, Spell Pierce check. Unlicensers. Hopefully it's a cantrip and not a... Whew, all right, not a Spell Pierce. Well, now life is pretty good. Hearse is very good at keeping Phoenixes down, and it's gonna at least make it annoying for them to Treasure Cruise. Are we scooping? Are we done, opponent? A single piece of disruption and we're done? No. All right, opponent's gonna continue. What do we got? Chow. Opponent's going to do some opting to the top. Untap land. And there's a Ledger Shredder. Well, we got the Fatal Push for that, so that's not a problem. Are they casting spell number 2? No, doesn't look like. Well, all right. Let's eat away the graveyard a bit. So against Phoenix, I mentioned this against Greasefang, we'd mostly just want to keep the graveyard empty. We want to keep the Phoenixes away for sure. That's the most important thing. But just like keeping cards out of the graveyard shuts down Treasure Cruise, and Treasure Cruise probably their most important non-Phoenix card, maybe their most important card, period, honestly. Like, Treasure Cruise is so good. I'll play the land. Let's get rid of this Ledger Shredder. We're gonna wait. We could just run out of Kaito, but I think we'd rather get rid of the Ledger Shredder, play the Moon Circuit Hacker. Hopefully next turn we can start the Kaitoing. The problem with just running out Kaito, so we could play the phase out Kaito, and it would be kind of safe, but the problem with playing the Kaitos is if they have the Ledger Shredder, they can just attack them, so gonna be better on a cleaner board. Opponent. Mystical Dispute. I think Kaitos gonna be like one of the best Planeswalker tribal decks of all time. They might actually be. They're all cheap. They're all relatively powerful. I feel like they're actually good. Prophetic Memory. That card is very scary. Opponent draws a card. Sure. Passing. Well, Unlicensed. Eat a couple spells. And let's see what we draw. Just a swamp. Well, let's play the Pathway. Get down Kaito Dancing Shadow. Do we take... Yeah, let's just draw. Like, there's a chance they can kill it, but if they can't kill it, life is really good. And we don't really want to uptick for 0 value. Opponent's going to consider, sure, trying to refill the graveyard. All right, Mills and Arclight. So opponent 1, 2, 3. So, I mean, I guess they could Treasure Cruise if they're going to exile their Arclight. All right, yeah, opponent. I mean, this is kind of fine. That was a 5-mana draw 3, and they went down an Arclight, so I think we can deal with that Treasure Cruise. Like, Treasure Cruise for 5 mana, that is not a playable card. Treasure Cruise for 1 mana is broken. Opponent, wow. The GG cannot beat the hearse, and Kaitos just keep winning somehow. All right, taking down the best decks in the format, 1 Kaito at a time. And, all right. Bane of Nightmares. We need more Kaitos on the battlefield, though. That's the only downside. Like, the deck is working. The deck is working really well. The only... Ooh, Goblins? Oh, this should be interesting. How do we do against a dedicated aggro deck? That is a whole nother question. I mean, so far we've done good against Demons. We've done good against Arclight Phoenix. We have not played just straight up aggro, though. I don't know what to take here. I kind of think Krenko's the scariest long-term card. We do have a Fatal Push. The problem is we can Fatal Push everything else. We can't Fatal Push the Krenko, though. And let's play a land on blue. Get down the Spyglass Siren. Make a map token. I think we just pass. Like, the map is a way that we can trigger Revolt on Fatal Push if we have to. Goblin Instigator, sure. So if we Ninjutsu Kaito, they can play Goblin War Chief, attack for 4. If we kill one of these, they can only attack for 3. But we're going to need to kill something better than a 1-1. All right, we're just, well, okay, another Kaito. I mean, I think we just do it. Let's get in. Kaito, off the Spyglass Siren. Hit ya. I mean, I guess we can just start embleming. 2 emblems out of the Kaito is probably worth it. Like, if we get 2 emblems out of this and then it dies, I think that's enough value for it to be good. So there's the War Chief. Opponent hastes up the crew. Hits the Kaito. Down to 1. Thankfully, can still emblem. How do we want to do this? I mean, I guess we Mutavault and just try to get in. Well, do we? So if we emblem Kaito, we get in for 9 and then just try to race? Yeah. The other option is... Yeah, let's do it this way. Off of our blue mana. Play the land untapped. Crack the map on the Mutavault. We're just going to get in as much damage as possible. All right, another Kaito. Sure. And emblem the Kaito. So our opponent's going to be able to kill it, but they're going to take a huge amount of damage, and we get to get rid of the War Chief. Hit ya. Down to 7, and we might just win the race. Are we just more aggro than goblins? Is this deck is Kaito's good? Is just playing every Kaito the secret to Pioneer? Usually Planeswalker tribal decks are very janky. Opponent, Renville Hordemaster, but this one just, it keeps working. Bonnet gets in, kills the Kaito, hits our face. Sure. Well, there's the Kaito. So I think what we really want here, we kind of want a flying Mutavault off this Mockingbird. I think that's our main game plan here. We can play the Spyglass Siren first. Might as well get the map. Just in case they have removal somehow, then we have something else to copy. Mockingbird, Mutavault is a ninja. Then we get to crack the map on the. Let's go Spyglass Siren. All right, well, another land. Our opponent probably has to block with the Hordemaster, right? Or they. All right, just kidding. Choosing to die to the Flying Mutavault is also, that's also an option. All right, opponent, well, show us that removal spell. We just like super hard, wow, Fable. All right, I mean, maybe our opponent doesn't realize we have a Flying Mutavault. Maybe they don't understand what Mockingbird means here. Opponent hits us down to 10. We draw land, but, I mean, Kaito and Emblem number 3 and fire up our Mockingbird Mutavault. It's a casual 5/5, and that looks like a dead Goblins player. All right, Kaitos. More aggro than Goblins, apparently. Why is this deck working so well? All right, well, we're bringing some removal. We're bringing our sweeper. Go down, I guess the Thought Seizes, and then probably just do some trimming. The Moon Circuit Hacker probably not going to get in very much against Goblins. They have so many blockers on the ground. Ooh, yeah, that's a 1 land, no keep. All right, this is a fine 6, I guess. No Kaito, sadly, but we have things. Pithing Needle. What are they needling? Which Kaito do you pick? That's the problem. We have so many Kaitos. Pithing Needle's kind of a rough answer in the dark, just because you don't know which one we're going to draw. Oh, all right, opponent. Teaching Arena Zoomers about Mutavault, apparently. Mutavault's locked down by Pithing Needle. Spyglass Iron, make a map. Yeah, I mean, opponent did get wrecked by Mockingbird Mutavault combo last game, so I guess that kind of makes sense. Runville Hordemaster. Well, there's a Kaito. I guess play the Mutavault anyways. Let's just pass. We would trade our 1/1 for Runville Hordemaster if we got a shot at it, even if it means we can't ninjutsu Kaito right away. Goblin Warchief. Do we bounce it? We can just Brazen Borrower it, and then they gotta recast it. Yeah, let's do it. We'll bounce it. Save the damage. Gotta get that tempo. Well, play the land, go to combat. Get in with the flyer and ninjutsu time. Kaito Bane of Nightmares. Pick up the Spyglass Siren. Hit you down to 17. And, I mean, do we go same plan? Do we just go Emblem? A little bit worse without the Mutavaults, but still probably good enough. Yeah, Emblem, number 1. Ninjas get +1/+1. Opponent. Den of the Bugbear. Okay, that's going to be good eventually. There's a Goblin Warchief. The upside of plussing is we do get 2 activations again, right? So they get in, hit the Kaito. Down to 1. We get to go back to embleming if we want to. We need to stop drawing lands. We've drawn way too many lands. We might need to draw here, actually. See if we can find another Kaito. Well, actually, Anoint with Affliction is very good. That's a way we can get rid of the Hordemaster without triggering it. Actually, we might be able to keep our Kaito alive. Yeah, let's crack this map. So if we crack the map, we can Fatal Push. Oh, more Kaitos. We did come here to Kaito. I expect this first Kaito Bane of Nightmares is going to die. The problem is this Den of the Bugbear. We can't really stop that too, but we can kill the Warchief. Opponent gets a trigger. Hits, all right, just a mountain. That's fine. And play the Pathway on black, pass the turn. I mean, maybe we can keep the Kaito alive. See if they fire up the Den of the Bugbear. Well, I think that means we got to get rid of the Hordemaster. Prospector Hordemaster can kind of just combo off in some scenarios. Cacophony Scamp, sure. And gonna sack it to kill the Kaito. Yeah. Well, at least they didn't get to draw a card off of the Runville Hordemaster. We're kind of running low on that. Ooh, well, that's a Cranko. All right. Well, that is a scary one. We might have to tap down this Cranko. stun it. Stun the goblin. Play the land. Kaito Beta Nightmares Part 2. Yeah, I don't think we can let this Kaito, or let this Krenko stay untapped. It is a very, like, the problem with Krenko is not that it's not strong, it's that you gotta wait a turn to use it, right? So a lot of times it just dies before you activate it. If you get to activate Krenko, the card is incredibly strong opponent. You're gonna fire up the Den of the Bugbear, go to combat, get in. I mean, we can chump to keep the Kaito alive, and I think we will. So Kaito goes to 1.
This is not how I die.
We draw more lands, down to 9, and yeah, surveil. Ooh, oh god, extinction event, huh? And a brazen borrower. Do we want extinction events? The question. I think we. The problem is borrower can't deal with land, so it doesn't stop the Den of the Bugbear. The good news is our opponent's at 9, so brazen borrower actually kind of a clock. Yeah, I think we do it like this. So we'll draw the brazen borrower now. Play the Verge. I mean, it is a good get out of jail free card, right? Extinction event. Like, if our opponent might get a chance to activate Krenko, that is a way we can sweep up all the goblins and the Krenko. Wow, opponent. All right, not going to fire up the Den of the Bugbear. Now, are we gonna untap a Kaito? Yeah, I mean, this is not the best value of a brazen borrower, but bounce the 1/1 to keep the Kaito alive. Okay, I was not expecting us to get another turn with Kaito. Opponent Snoop, sure. Land on top and Prospector. Well, now maybe we just extinction event anyway. Run out the brazen borrower. It does mean we lose the Kaito. I guess we can attack first. Yeah, let's attack first. Oh, this works out. This works out perfectly. Is the opponent gonna block with the Skirk Prospector? They drop to 6. So now we get to surveil and draw with the Kaito. Don't need the Thousand Face Shadow. Do we need the Mockingbird? We could copy the Krenko. Yeah, I don't think we want either of those. All right, we get a Thousand Face Shadow anyway. Well, good news is we are going to cause an extinction event of these goblins on even. We lose the Kaito. Opponent loses his board, but I think we got it unlocked now. Opponent needs to, I don't even know, do what? They draw land. We have another brazen borrower that we can flash in. That looks like 6 in the air. Like, they can hit us with their creature land, but we're still at 20 in. I guess Kaitos can beat aggro. Apparently Kaitos just beat everything. We need to get as many Kaitos on the board as possible. We've gotten 3. I really want them all. Can we get every Kaito on the battlefield at once? Ugh, Rakdos, eh? Rakdos demons. I mean, that's a good hand. Yeah, I mean, we're gonna take the Torch to the tower, which hopefully lets us, well, I was gonna say hopefully lets us start drawing with Kaito Suzuki with this Siren, but it looks like that plan's gonna be, well, okay, Thousand Face Shadow. Thousand Face Shadow can fill in the 1-drop flyer role. All right, well, plan back online. We need to find an answer to the Sheoldred. That's going to be an issue as this game goes along. Opponent, Mutavault, and passes. Well, hit ya. Down to 17. Well, untap land. Kaito Shizuke. And I think we just start drawing cards. We need to find removal spells of some kind, I think. All right, let's see what our opponent finds. Land number 3, and there's the Unholy Annex. That is a good one. Opponent, down to 15, draws a card. Ooh, Petty Theft, okay. Not a permanent answer, but still an answer. That is a way we can deal with a Sheoldred or an Unholy Annex, our only way to deal with Unholy Annex. Well, land on blue. Get down the Spyglass Siren, I guess. And might as well crack the map. See what's on top. Ooh, Mockingbird. Okay, so hilariously, Mockingbird is kind of an answer to Sheoldred. If it sticks around, like, if we just also have Sheoldred. If we just also have a Sheoldred, that stops our opponent's Sheoldred from killing us. All right, opponent land, down to 12. Archfiend of the Dross. Oh, we probably just gotta bounce that. Yeah, let's bounce the Archfiend. Tempo. Unholy Annex down to 10. I don't know if we can get in the last points of damage, but hit you down to 7. Kaito, draw. Okay, that's another Kaito. We can play the Kaito. We can also just Mockingbird to get more damage out. Like, I think at this point, we're in the try to kill you rather than try to stop your Shieldred. Yeah, let's copy the Spyglass Siren, get a map. Crack the map on the Spyglass Siren. Fatal Push. Well, we're going to keep it. A little bit worse without our map, but we can flash in the Brazen Borrower. So if our opponent just plays Shieldred, we flash in Brazen Borrower and win. All right, opponent Archfiend of the Dross. So opponent goes to 9. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're 1 point of damage short. All right, well, Brazen Borrower. Yeah, I think we're 1 short of lethal here. Opponent goes back up to 9. So we get to play the Kaito. There is a Kaito for this. There is a Kaito to answer this Archfiend, which is the bad Kaito. Kaito Dancing Shadow. +1. Creature can attack a block to your next turn. So that gets rid of the demon for now. Go to combat. Smack ya. Ooh, opponent Fatal Push. Okay. Oh, do we Fatal Push is the question. Do we Fatal Push? It already can't attack or block, but it is a demon that's keeping the Unholy Annex on. So opponent drops to 3. Pick up 1,000-Year Shadow. Let's draw with Kaito. Okay. Kaito Bane of Nightmares. Not bad. Kaito number 3. Let's make a drone, actually. Drone that drains for 2 and it dies seems pretty good here. Fatal Push. Get rid of the demon. Pass the turn. Opponent. You need some answers. You need some answers. Shieldred does not do it. Opponent land. So their Mutavault can turn on the Unholy Annex. Okay. Ritual Chamber also does. So opponent makes a 6/6. They go up to 5. Can we just win with Ninjutsu, though? All right, so 6/6 can't block. I mean, our opponent needs 2 removal spells. I don't think they can do it. An opponent scoops it up and Kaito power, taking out Rakdos demons. And yeah, there's a Kaito for everything. Like, the mixture of being aggressive and also being able to play defense by stopping things from attacking and putting bodies on the battlefield and drawing tons of cards. Kaitos, they do literally everything. Like, everything we need, the Kaitos can do. So we're going to bring in some removal that can kill bigger creatures, bring in Disdainful Strokes to stop Shieldreds and Archfiends and such, and just do some trimming, I guess. Trim a couple of Fatal Pushes, some of the random dorky creatures. Yeah, all right, let's run it like that. All right, on to game number 2. Rakdos Demons versus Kaito Tribal. Every Kaito in Magic, all in the same deck. You're on the play. Ooh, all right, 2 Kaitos. That's a good start. That's a good start. So what do we get? 2 Kaitos? Oh, come on, not our Kaitos. All right, Kaito Bane of Nightmares. That is a logical choice. Well, we will return the favor with a Thoughtseize of our own. Removal, removal, removal. Well, the only removal spell that can hit Planeswalkers is Torch to the Tower. I mean, I guess we take that and trust that our Kaitos can get there even if our creatures die. Opponent. Ooh, Reckoner Bankbuster. That's a good one. Well, let's play the island. If we had the choice, we definitely would have thought to use Reckoner Bankbuster. Opponent being able to draw 3 extra cards. Kind of annoying. Well, Mutavault. Go. I guess we can bounce it at some point if we need to. Yeah, let's Petty Thief the Bankbuster. Opponent can draw and responds. This does slow him down a bit, though. Now, playing the island and Kaito Shizuki. Kaito number 1. And let's just... Yeah, let's make a ninja. So this is gonna make it awkward for our opponent. Oh, they have Fatal Push too? Okay, never mind. Well, we thought we were pinching their mana and making them choose between killing it and playing the Bankbuster. Instead, they have a Fatal Push. Ooh, all right, Kaito number 2. Well, let's loot with Kaito. Get rid of a... Well, let's get rid of a Disdainful Stroke. We have 2 Disdainful Strokes. Get rid of a Disdainful Stroke. We might need the Fatal Push to kill a Bankbuster. Play the Kaito. Make a Ninja. Okay, 2 Kaitos now. We're halfway to every Kaito. We need 2 more. We need 2 more to get every Kaito on the battlefield. Opponent, Swamp. All right, Annoyance, our Ninja token. Gloom Lake Verge. Well, we can't. I would like to attack with the Mutavault, but we really can't. Well, I guess we're doing some Kaito looting. Loot with Kaito. Get rid of Actually, yeah, let's get Moon Circuit Hacker is just gonna die anyway. Let's keep the land. Get rid of the Moon Circuit Hacker. Loot with Kaito. Can we find another Kaito, please? Hey, Kaito Mane of Nightmares. Okay, we can. So if we discard Disdainful Stroke, I really like holding on to Disdainful Stroke just because it's one of our few ways of just like hard stopping a Shieldred. But if we discard it, we can play Kaito Mane of Nightmares and leave up Fatal Push because the risk is... Actually, you know what? Let's just wait. Let's just wait. Let's flash in this Brazen Borrower. And then next turn we can get down the Kaito. The Fatal Push is going to let us protect our Kaitos from a Bank Buster though, which is kind of huge. We would like to just have a body that can attack for one to Ninjutsu Kaito, but more importantly, it turns on our card draw on our other Kaitos. Our opponent's going to Heartless Act. This is fine though, this is fine. We got to get the removal out of their hands sometime. So now we can fire a Mutavault, go to combat, get in with the Mutavault. Kaito number 3, Ninjutsu, Kaito Bane of Nightmares. Here it comes, hit ya, down to 13. And now we get to draw with Kaito. We really want a Black Source. Oh, wow. Oh, man, that's Kaito 4. We might be doing it. We might be doing it. We might be doing it. All right, let's make an... Oh... How do we want to do this? Let's Surveil and draw first. Okay, there's black mana. So that lets us leave up the Fatal Push. Are we gonna get every Kaito on the battle? I think it might be happening. Make a ninja token. And play the Black Source. Everything's been activated past the next turn. Next turn should be the turn. So if they play a creature to crew the Blank Buster, we can Fatal Push the Blank Buster, untap, play last Kaito, and have actually gotten every Kaito. Not only do we get every Kaito on the battlefield, we will have every Kaito on the battlefield. Opponent plays 8. Oh, that's actually very annoying against us. Kaito's like drawing cards. Shieldred very good against that. Well, okay. Our plan is coming to fruition, so we can Fatal Push. Actually, maybe we block, let's do this. Let's block the Bank Buster, and then we can Fatal Push the Shieldred. I think this is a better use of our Fatal Push. Shieldred down, so this lets us pop off with our Kaitos. Well, Kaito becomes a creature. Go to combat, get in, hit ya. Opponent down to 10. Kaito gets a counter. Well, play the Mutavault, and Kaito Dancing Shadow, and the goal has been achieved. Every Kaito on the battlefield, and now we get to loot with a Kaito. Get rid of a land, and we will make a drone with Kaito, and we will draw with Kaito, and we will Surveil and draw with Kaito. You guessed it. We will keep the Thoughtseize. Not bad, not bad. Thoughtseize you? Archfiend of the draws, go for the throw, anoint with affliction. Well, take the Archfiend. All right, opponent, can you stop every Kaito in Magic? Apparently, all the Kaitos, better than demons, better than goblins, better than phoenixes. That's even more Kaitos. Opponent takes it down to 5. We get some triggers, and that's a lot of Kaito value. Kaito, trigger.
Thanks for that.
Everyone! Not only did we get every Kaito on the battlefield, we did it against Rakdos Demons, like one of the best decks in the entire format. It's not like we did it against some janky brew. Kaito, draw a card. And Kaito, draw another card. And Kaito, draw another card. Boy, Kaitos generate a lot of card advantage. Kaito, let's make a ninja this time. And Kaito, well, we probably should have emblem pre-combat, but we're gonna do it now anyway. Emblem Kaito, Thousand Face Shadow is a ninja getting buffed by the emblems. Do we just play? 1, 2. Let's play more Kaitos. Foundations Kaito, part 2. Do a little legend ruling, make another ninja. And this is kind of the dream. This is the Kaito tribal dream. We are actually living the dream in real time. Mockingbird, copy a ninja. Our opponent needs something that I don't even know if it exists. Like, they need, I mean, even if they find let's say they find a sweeper, they need to find a sweeper to deal with our board. They also need to find a planeswalker removal spell to deal with Kaito that becomes a creature. Even if they somehow did all that with their Reckoner Bankbuster draws, they still gotta stop. They still gotta stop the other Kaitos, and they can't do it. And wow, opponent scoops it up, and that is the Kaito dream. Wow. So what did we learn this week about Kaito, Tribal, and Pioneer? And the deck was shockingly successful, like the best Planeswalker Tribal deck that we've ever made successful. So we played 10 matches with the deck. We won 8 of them for an 80% match win percentage, which is actually like shockingly good. And we were doing this at Mythic on Magic Arena, so it's not like we were beating up on gold players or something. So it turns out that just playing Kaito and then playing more Kaitos and then playing more Kaitos is actually a pretty effective way to win games of Pioneer. We even had a game where we got every single Kaito on the battlefield, although honestly that was hard to do, not because Kaitos were too bad or too clunky, but because the Kaitos were so good that we often would like get down a Kaito Bean of Nightmares and our opponent would just die. Once we get a couple of Kaitos on the battlefield, they snowball so hard and generate so much card advantage, and really they do everything. They draw cards, they make creatures, they can play defense, they just take over the game super quickly. So I gotta say, I'm kind of shocked at just how well Kaito Tribal work. Like, maybe we actually finally have a real Planeswalker Tribal deck that can actually be competitive, because I was absolutely blown away at just how much this deck won. So if you're a fan of Kaitos, you're a fan of Planeswalkers, definitely worth keeping in mind, because at least in our 10 matches, the deck kind of crushed it. So anyway, that is Oops All Kaitos. That's been our Against the Odds for this week. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will talk to you soon.